Full moon occurs at 23 degrees Virgo, which is auspicious for me because my Venus is at 23 degrees Virgo. So we're all going to get into that vibration of the 23 degrees of Virgo. Virgo points at the healers and the service people, the people that do work like, the stuff that you don't want to do a lot of times, which is to the behind the scenes stuff like cleaning the toilets and keeping up the rooms, preparing them for use, and like hospital work too, just any service work that people don't want to do is Virgo is accused. Well, as the healers, they're keeping things clean. It cleans up. It really cleans up and purifies. It really rules the Virgin, V. Get into the V talk now. We have, it's misunderstood as to what that is, but it just means original, the original programming, like the original source of something. Like, how there's heirloom, or just, they call it Mother Nature, but it's really Virgin Nature. They call it, Mother Earth, but it's really Virgin Earth is what we're talking about. Like virgin water. They call it like virgin coconut oil, but I don't know if it, but it's just very purified. It's back to the original source, its original energy, its original vibration. And that's hard to find, talking about that. It's hard to find a virgin place. I mean, I know that where I live here in this forest, it was replanted after mankind or whatever kind came through and cut the trees down and used it to build much of the cities that are down there. Doing logging and replanting, and it's just, I'm pretty sure that, well, now having said that, virgin, we're talking about like heavenly stuff. When we talk about heavenly, we're talking about the very creation of creation, like the cosmic dust. Really, what is it? Is it really like solid, or is it light? And that that's what Einstein says, is that the atomic movie that you're looking at, that looks solid, it's really an atom is 99.99% unsolid. It's light. It's not this non-physical. If you were to ball up all of humanity, it would be the size of a sugar cube or something. I don't know why they come up with that, but that was around the time when that LSD was located inside of sugar cubes. Anyway, I'm getting back to it's hard to find a natural, I was going to say wholesome, or holy, virgin, natural thing on the plane, because it's hard to tell what that really is. But so getting back into the high plane, the non-physical, where all of it comes into play. Now water comes into talk. We want to talk about water. We're heading into this, well, where we have a lot of water issues. I mean, we need to look into water. It's wise to become concerned with purifying water and harboring water, mining water some way in your local neighborhood even, really. It's a really wise idea to get into how to purify it, how to gather it, how to hold it, how to store it, how to keep it healthy, and to how to, in case you weren't near any kind of water sources, even if you were, you have to think about purifying it. I'm serious. And, well, you might be able to hook money up into it. That's why. Why not? I just gave you a side job idea that might be a little bit harmless and good. What harm is it? But it's going to come up with Neptune going into Aries at the end of the month. Are you kidding me? We are apt to see something happen with water. We've already studied enough, and we've had our time to be able to honor it like as a god religiously. And if we haven't done that. See, this is what we have in the sky still. We still have a little bit of a brief time, very spiritual, to look into it. See, as Venus is going backwards from Aries 10 degrees, and now it's going backwards, and so is uh, Mercury. I don't know if Mercury is doing it now, but that's on the list of things to do. It's Venus and Mercury both going from Aries to to Pisces. It's kind of going backwards to meet up with Neptune. I think I talked about it. Hello. Let me just get my movements down here. Yeah, by the end of the month, Venus will be conjunct Neptune, which is just auspicious. Oh my God, it's just so epic, babes. And I just, you want to try to understand the season that you're going through and how that other people are impacted, and so are you. You really have to find out, like, where in your chart does this take place. Pardon the light, kind of irritating. As because it is going on, pertaining to Neptune particularly, because we do have. I mean, it's like it's a zodiacal new year. Talk about 12. It takes 165 years for the entire whole zodiacal reset of Neptune, and so now it's resetting into Aries. So technically, we can see like what happened 165 years ago, and see if there's a trend that comes up. And some astrologers on YouTube have already done that for us, and we'll be sure to link all of that up just by sharing it. And being interested in it really is the main concern. And the main concern why we do astrology is to be kind of to meditate on the time we're in, and first of all, contemplate how we don't really control any of this, but look at how it's just going under full control of something. It's very predictable. Right now, outside, it's been snowing and ice and stuff, and it's like finally we have some winter time. I live up a mile high, and I love it when it does that. So anyway, that's Pisces. That's March, and so we have a full moon eclipse at 23 degrees, which I want to mention. KimCast, that's your degree, Jupiter. You have a Virgo Jupiter at 23 degrees. It's right on top of my Venus, and so such an honor to have been found by you and blessed by you and everything, and so yeah, that's an intense eclipse happening. See, I worry about that eclipse in Virgo, because what does it mean to me? It kind of means that, oh, pardon me, let me erase some storage here, get some storage going. It kind of I think the Earth is in the sign of, if I'm following it right, if I know right, it's in the sign of uh, Aries. Well, no, Pisces. It's just still doing that kind of side of things. But then again, I could be wrong. Earth is probably in a totally different sign. But I think that's where it is. Really, you could say it that way if we're doing Placidius astrology, and that's what's on the ascendant is. We would just say that basically that's where we are when it's rising. When the sun is rising, it's um, the sun that's in Pisces. See, the Earth is somewhere, isn't it? It's probably. I could check on my phone what zodiacal sign is the Earth? What zodiacal sign is the Earth at now? Well, it's kind of ridiculous, but I think it is. Um, that's just a puzzling question to me. Sorry. Let me delete some of these videos here to make more space. I was in the middle of talking about the retrograde of Mercury, which impacts our vehicles. It depends on what degree it is. If it directly impacts you, but it triggers up a lot around you, you'll see some things going on. It's been difficult anyway with Mercury have gone into Pisces, but now I think it's moving into, now let me look at Mercury. They keep zeroing on Venus, but yes. See, Mercury is going to go retrograde in on the 15th. It's not quite retrograde yet, but that's when Venus is going retrograde. But see, it's going to go. It's weird. It's going on the same track almost It's going to hit 9 degrees, but Venus hits 10 degrees, and then it goes back in Aries, and then it goes backwards. And this is the same trek that Venus is doing. And so Mercury and Venus are on this mission. Those two people, those two characters up there, and people, that tells me of a healing movement. It's a very healing movement. And see, with it going back into Pisces, that's super duper auspicious as far as the healing qualities. It can be there because, well, first of all, it's going there. It's conjuncting Neptune. There's where everybody needs to find out what Neptune has been doing in their charts. Exactly. So you want to get a hold of a good astrologer that can point you into the season that you might have been going through for a kind of a slow but short time. It can really be impactful after a while. You can look back and think, dang, I did go through some kind of weird fucking shit. It's so strange. But with all of humanity, see, is the fact that Neptune has been in Pisces, and that is definitely a journey of looking into deception, the past of the Piscean age, which is where the Christ story is derived out of, and just the religious kind of jargon, like the storytelling, really. What is it really all about? I mean, really, because we do know that Neptune in and of itself is pointing at water, and we can um, look at the true nature of reality through some means through which that can express humanly possible, which are the mediums and artistic forms that Neptune again pulls up and starts pointing at these expression zones that would not even be known, includes the human aperture that says, does God exist or not? And it's like, go look in the mirror kind of a thing, kinda, you know. I don't know about you, but no, genuinely, for me, I really appreciate the the one looking back at me, which is just somebody who is giving an honest effort to try and make sense out of this fucking place. Uh, from my view, I am not letting down I cannot be an inauthentic attempt. Although, no, I've reached plenty of weird traits just trying to survive here, right? And that's kind of what we're doing. I mean, boy, can you notice how the world in and of itself is comprised of that ambiance of people being certain characters, of course, right? You have to have your own brand, and isn't that weird? And it's like, well, when are we going to? Because we are on the same page here. We do see ourselves doing the same darn stuff here, especially regarding the modern day world, like how our technological world is having us just jump inside of it like a shoe that's supposed to fit, and that's fine. But boy, um, can we slow down from replacing all our faculties here of experiencing a decent life here? Interesting, we haven't gotten close to not experiencing being, like, say, what I mean is, like, we haven't gotten close to um, pinpointing anything, really. I mean, we could see that we could have different methods of technology, but we keep certain methods. I don't know. To me, it's just looking like a soup of just a certain possibility of many different possibilities of just one thing, but it's like it seems like it's the nil of the nil around here. I mean, as far as what Tesla was trying to show us, and that what has been left behind, again pointing at the ancient hieroglyphs. I mean, monoliths, right, of structures and things that we're like we like to think we don't know what it really is, but nobody's telling us what it is, and who's us, you know. Thank you for listening to this, you guys. Getting back to Kim Cass and her aspect that she's having with, and I'm having, we both share the 23 degrees. When the Jupiter's on your Venus like that way, it's such a fortunate person to have in life, and so I thank you for that, God, and hopefully it's a mutual thing again. But yeah, this eclipse we're having on the 17th, right, is the eclipse of the moon at 23 degrees. No, now it's 14th. Sorry, it's the 14th. And that's right on my Venus. I was trying to talk about it in another video, but I think I'm going to take time to edit it, and I haven't been taking time to edit it. I've been kind of getting away from doing that. I'm looking at a bother about how I make my money. I would like to be more productive. I do this as just fun and entertainment, for sure. And I was thinking about that, right? Very personal issues coming up. I mean, we have, look, at the same time, we have Saturn at 22 degrees. This is actually going to give us a lot of structure to this confusion that we might be feeling with the Pisces planets alone in the sky. Thank God. I mean, not really though. See, because Saturn and Pisces is such a strange. It's kind of like trying to nail Jello to the wall when it comes to you have Saturn in the water in Pisces. It's getting closer to Neptune in Pisces, which is the Pisces ruled. It's Neptune ruled. Pisces is, and we just have this Neptune theme which has no structure at all. It's Neptune. It's water. Okay, unless it's frozen. But we don't want to freeze, do we? I mean, people are going through freezes. Now, going back to by the end of the month, babes, we have Neptune entering into Aries. It's like this reset of 165-year new year of Neptune, babes. It's the last, well, it's the next to last planet here um, that goes really slow. See, Pluto does a 100 or 245 or 48-year round every. It takes that long for it to go all the way around and reset the zodiac from 12 to 1. And so, but Neptune is 165, and we have Uranus that does once every 80, and then Saturn does once every 30, and 30 is doing the just happens to be doing the Pisces Saturn return, and so those people that are about 60 years old right now, I mean, gosh, people with Saturn and Pisces, poor things, you know, I've already talked about that. It's a subconscious time for us all right now. It's a subconscious rewiring, very, very sensitive time for humanity because we're having to dip into these programming that's there that is causing all kinds of complications with our ability to communicate with emotions and real life emotions and thought emotions and emotions caused in thought and all of that, like your beliefs and stuff. It's a mess, really out there, you know. And the advice right now, we advise you. I mean, hopefully you are being able to gravitate towards it. The main thing now, really, for everybody, what we're talking about is these Pisces planets, and then how that Venus goes backwards into Pisces, and then Neptune backwards into Pisces, and it goes and hits Neptune one more time in the very deepest degrees of Pisces before. See, this is at the end of this month. See, yeah. Oh wow. And so does Mercury just do a final kiss. I mean, it actually Mercury ushers in, actually crosses over the degree precisely when Neptune crosses right over into Aries. That is so weird. Crosses right over and says, I will be into Pisces and I'll be doing some communications about Neptunian things. It's going to go retrograde, but by that time it crosses right over on the degree, 29, 0 degree. Boom, Mercury, and then Neptune hits 29, 0 degree Aries, going forward by the end of this month. Very, 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 very auspicious time for all of humanity. Just ever moving forward, but see, now it brings me to talk about the Martian issues that will be coming up. That we're still in this pressure cooker, but see, the Martian, we're gonna be pulling out of it by the end of this March. We're just gonna gradually just going forward with not without Mars is going to. It was trining to Neptune, but now when it trines Neptune the next time, it will be in Aries. And then it will proceed on within a week after it trines the fresh new Neptune in Aries. This tells me that Mars has something to do with this. See, so that's the planet of war. There's a lot of energy by then. Right then, when it hits into Leo, we're gonna look at something going on here. You know, we're gonna look at the elite and their show of something that is going to be manipulated heavily. I mean, you can just predict that, but I say with water, something that has to do with water issues, because of course it's Neptune in there and it's aspecting Mars first off. But see, then within a week we have the Mars opposition to Pluto, which is we have to look at this because it's certainly been pointing at what the warlords have been doing. I mean, it's kind of there where, like, okay, so I say the fires at the Pacific Palisades and other places all around, really, this Mars transit and that's been aspecting Pluto has proved to have water involved and then fire involved later, which has been fire. First it was water that when it opposed Pluto in Capricorn in Earth, but now it's in fire and we're dealing with fire and we're dealing with water too. So something about water and fire together. See, I say that, I was trying to tell you in the beginning in this other video that I'm not going to post, but maybe I will. Same shirt. This is going to be put on behalf of whatever the uh, right before the eclipse moon is coming. Full moon eclipse on 23 degrees on my degree of Venus and Virgo, 23. And I have a friend, Kim Cast, who has the 23 Jupiter, which that affects money and that affects my love life. It affects everybody around who has the late degree, anywhere between, well, 20 degree and 26 for sure, and then 23 is in the middle. Is the good orb to let it have that much in degree to be affected directly triggered, directly affected. Um, Others not so much, but we can look at the Neptune though. You have to find out how that, there's an Neptune aspects that are happening. Venus conjuncting Neptune, and so is Mercury. And it's really a trip the way that it's happening at the end of the month here. There's a lot of communications, but at a very spiritually deep level, because it's Pisces. There's going to be a way that somehow it's communicated because of that Mercury inside of Pisces. We're having a beautifully blustery day. It's snowing, and I'm fine. My wood supply is kind of dwindling as far as I'm concerned, but I can get to moving and get it myself if I really need to and want to, and I will. I'm getting the will. 2222 is where it was there when I said that, and because I'm Mars ruled, and now we talk about that Mars transit again, the will. Really, it's really literally the will to survive. We have, that part of us is the masculine. I mean, come on, it's been kind of rough since September, babes. And the warring, the fucking passive aggressive. I mean, the kind of, oh, well, let's just call that well, see, the way that rescue workers and even first responders are trying to go and save the day, and they can't. They're being undermined of the stuff they need, right? You hear it a lot nowadays that they're not going to come and get you. You have to survive on your own. I wouldn't be where I'm at right now in these mountains, in this cabin that my great grandpa built, if I didn't come from and sit in intention of still to this day. I've been doing it for a while. That just says, no, we're on our own here. We take our of our own. We have a waterway in the back. We can go fishing. We can eat some of the frickin' nettles there and make our own medicines and mine our own water. There isn't anybody controlling our daily routines or lives enough to where we don't lose sight on that, well, just kidding with the system. Let's get back to sustaining ourselves day to day. Did you learn how to fast at least? You know, not just for a day, not for 2 days, not for 3 days, man. Take it down to just knowing that a little bit goes a long way, and then figure out what's sustainable out there. Isn't that a trippy thing to say? But no, I live on a waterway here where there's a lot of edible things that nobody knows that it's edible. That if you knew it wasn't, if you could, I always looked at it. Oh, you can go down there right now, and see. Some stuff is coming up. Okay, so um, yeah, if you can eat that, you can not only sustain yourself, but you would get rid of a lot of ailments. Yeah, you would, because it's healthy to eat green leafy vegetables and stuff. Anyway, just it's a trip to contemplate that thing. There is always an effort towards making us discomforted out here in the rurals. You figure that war is still going on as far as, yeah, it's always a war against the farmer. They want it totally industrialized, like the big complaint for the USA is that there's only like 12 different foreign agencies that are um, farming the foods for the main food chains of America. Includes institutionalized foods and stuff. I mean, the basic stuff is being farmed by nobody who lives in America. In fact, it's our enemy. If we look at if we owed China money, if that was an enemy, or if we owed, I mean, who knows how many, right? I mean, it's kind of taken over as a free for all. Watch out, yeah, watch out, babes. See, coming more and more with Neptune in Aries, that deception factor where people don't really want to know the truth, period, right? They just assume be lied to and just humming until the so-called fire or flood comes here, and then they give it a biblical belting, and they give their whole family that or something, I don't know, and then they go filing at the fucking church or something, and there you go, okay, fine. But let me talk about that maybe this talk is something that'll come up more and more and get people to think a little bit more. But really, when we start to see something go on, and we will, it might happen. It will have to happen, or else the system gets away with keeping people asleep and sick and diseased all the time and just hanging in this. It's a kind of a misery right now of people wondering, how do we have a love affair? How do we even have any kind of affair with our real lives? Because we're so fucking busy. We are so busy. And it's been a movement to try to attempt the movement that counteracts that says, no, we need to simplify and, yeah, get back to the land, and just, if we can just get food on the table from figuring it out, if it's just a day to day, but we have each other and we're not robbing each other, we just figure out, no, this is actually plenty if we just have a tree, an orchard, and a waterway with koi fish or something. And not the need to greed really, and try and fill yourself up with it's never enough, right? And good luck, to Rambo. Not no Rambo has better luck. Rambo has better luck, and I call myself Rambo. I do. I'm like, man, I'm fucking Rambo out here, rambling here on the internet. So with the Pisces planets that are upon us, there's not a chance of structure. It's really a time of, it's asking genuinely, it's asking for the part of the organism that is capable of recycling its own energy and even getting energy, which is the Aries, to just relax, be quiet, hermit yourself. I mean, if you might find yourself wanting to do that anyway, you find that maybe I should. See, there's a faction, there's a part of the organism that doesn't like to be alone, that doesn't like to think about, they could take it personally when their partner asks, hey, I need some alone time. Well, Aries and Aquarius are really huge for needing that. And Aquarius, Aries will forget because they're always there for other people. They don't even do for themselves. And they could just end up burnt, like all of a sudden, just they're not going to be there because they have just dropped, because they put so much energy and they're always there, that people take them for granted. That they, that they need that collapse of that warmth to go away, and say, you know what, maybe you should give a little bit, give to the recycling center of your own being, and the people that you do tend to go and get like an energy from, and can't reciprocate the same attention, like into whatever it is. They give it 110%. If it's people, that's just they're going for it. And otherwise, you love their salads and stuff. It's over the top, man. They do it bigger, and there's a part in your chart, in you, that is that way. It's the Aries part. Some people have it prominent. It could be the sun, rising sign, moon, or Venus. We do have Venus going through that now, and the epic thing. God, it's such a beautiful time. We cannot stress more. The spiritual people of our world cannot stress more to somehow, some way. And you'll see. There'll probably be an effort. There already is an effort to keep you away from being able to just quiet yourself. Don't be afraid to not have a structure at all. You don't have to go to bed at night just to get some like kind of sleep that helps you communicate with your higher mind. See, people that aren't into that kind of that are not into communication, period, do not like that kind of possibility of knowing that, well, what, I can get in touch with my innermost, deepest, like healing feeling. Through feeling, you get into your innermost, deepest feeling. It's now the time that, okay, so your feminine side, or do you know any feminine people, like any women in your life? Do you know any mystical people in your life? Do you know mystical women? See, that's what it points at, is the feminine mystical we have, let alone the sun being there. The co-ruler of Pisces is Venus. We have Venus going back there, hitting Neptune, which is the Pisces ruler, trying to alert you. See, then we have this Neptune thing coming on, and otherwise it's pure deception. You want to fucking wake these people up that think that you cannot see them under the light of day, that they're operating in the shadows and they're shadowy as shit. Maybe they're doing escape all the time. Really, it's time to heal. It's okay. This is what the full moon in Virgo alone is trying to tell us. Is trying to say, no, we're gonna sweep this shit right out of our hair, sweep that crap right out of the air, right? And really do cleaning. It's kind of like spring cleaning, but this is a spiritual thing too, big time. It's time to sort it out. Well, what is actually of use here? I mean, what does it boil down to but our well-being and feeling good and being uh, in right relationship with reality and the truth, and therefore your spiritual self, practice. It's going to come up big. Do you have a daily practice, at least one, that like you take 20 minutes and you breathe, right? And you try to just sit with all of the weirdness and stuff, and just be in the moment. Take those deep breaths. See, the whole point of meditation, right, is to kind of just watch it going and just be in the moment and understand, well, I'm just witnessing this. Okay. Also, just the point is that's going to be a big thing that comes up by the time it's the 14th, and here it comes. It's just, well, I'm on the 6th here making this video, but I'm going to post it probably on the 9th, or let's see, what day will I post it? It's going to be near the 14th here, if anything. Yeah, it'll be right on the 14th. So happy lunar eclipse. But I'm going to put it on I'll put it on the Wednesday before then. Yeah, that's what I'll do. So that will be on the 12th. And it's just a couple days. We're feeling the energy anyway. There's a air of not trying to, but, well, something will call you to purge. You have to get rid of the old stuff. Throw stuff out of the way. I know that I have that to do around in my home still, even though I've done a good job. I just want it down to bare bones. I have the Venus in Virgo at 23 degrees, and I know what it is to say, no, clean this bitch out to corner to corner, sterilize it. Why? Well, I think something can come in now, right? That's what you do, how you do if you want a change. A lot of times the moon is saying, and we do have the reset, the zodiac coming up with the sun going into Aries. But Neptune is going to go there, and boy, this event that's happening with Mercury, Venus, and Neptune, and then the sun. How well we have the Mercury, Venus going backwards. Boy, it's beautiful. Something comes to my mind now, just a vision of just shoe shopping. How's your set of shoes? Do you have your shoes? It's time to put on them good pair of shoes, the ones that keep you sturdy and walking, doing the moonwalk even. Because with the retrograde, you guys, it's time to dream, get back to the child self. With the oncoming of the Aries sun. It's springtime. It's time to burst out in all curiosity and possibility of things. Hopefully you are planting seed of imagination right now. Right now you're planting seeds, and you can do this. You can get into the 5D field. The 5D field to me is just a field that is exactly, well, it's there all the time. There's many dimensions, but one of them is that you can get into what is here already, as the plasmatic field. Non-physical includes thought. and even maybe Akasha. Yeah, it's all the programming that's there. And it's like, whatever you want, babes, I mean, really, that's the thing. It's like, well, be careful, because don't forget that you are tapping into that field, and you can pick up that bandwidth through an experience or something. So get into the transmitting and even receiving data, right? I don't like this talk about, oh, you create your own reality. No, you're interacting here, and it's about raising your vibrational frequency, the artist level of things. Now that's the Pisces, getting into the art, like being water, my friend. Be like water. Jump into the teacup, you become the teacup. Jump into the glass, and you become the glass. Water can be smooth, or it can be hard. It can crash, or it can be quiet. Be like water, my friend. You know, Purify yourself as you go down the rocky ledges. You go. See, we have a snowplow going. They got the snowplows going pretty darn good. It's kind of getting down to freezing a little bit. I think it's hardly 34 degrees maybe right now. And there is ice coming through the air. You can see it. I might go out and record a little bit with my other iPhone. I just need to take the storage off of it. There's a lot of problems there, and they make it that way. Otherwise, they could zap it around and help you out in no time. And they will, maybe. They're messing with our our opportunity to handle technology. It's being hijacked, just because, I don't know, there's such a distraction of so many that don't care, I guess, to where it's kind of like, well, they wait for a version to come at them that nobody even questions, right? Nobody even says, well, do we even need this in the first place? And or if so, did you find out what's really behind it? Now, getting to my talking about what I talk about when I talk about language, and the fact that you are, as a human aperture, if you have a 5-pointer in a voice box, you have access to the English language, you think, but you don't know you are a technology. You are a PC. You have an interfacing system sent from benevolent beings who live in outer space called the English language, which is from an alphabetical system, which is a symbol system that in fact is a symbol system that is sent from benevolent beings who live in outer space, who want us to graduate back into outer space eventually. And you don't do that until you start leveling up your perception to your intellectual property and your spiritual belonging. Now, it's not so much an individual responsibility. There is an individual's responsibility to kind of start to, that's what I was saying now. If you can find alone time, and start being artistic in your understanding. And it's helpful to look into the divining tools of astrology and other things that give us our only a possibility that points at the wide spectrum that, okay, first of all, you don't get along with it, just everybody isn't the same, but it doesn't mean that you just have a war with them all. No, you just appreciate the differences, and you know that you don't have to get entangled with it so much. Do your fucking astrology, please, and figure out now that now really it's about this feeling thing, man. Are you allowed to feel good or not? See, a lot of us might be pulling away from being really oppressed over not just 14 years, try 35 years or something like this. Try a whole lifetime, and trying to purge out generations of fucking karmic debt and also karmic bidding. Doing the same, just running the same crap that I hate to tell you, if it's breaking down all around you and you're having a difficult time, maybe that's not even your thought, your programming, your thing to try and work out. It's kind of difficult to imagine people having to. It's really snowing now, really, really good. I think it'll be snowing a foot by the time it's over with. I hope so. It's supposed to snow all through Thursday, and I guess this is Thursday. Okay, so it's happening. Anyway, getting back to, yeah, people don't know that this is where we're at with the Mars transit, and it definitely has to do, see, when Pluto goes back into Aquarius and it does this last, like, flash, something is going to alter our reality forever. I mean, it's already been happening, and it's like a tra-la-la, voila, who cares kind of a thing, because of the influence of the Pisces fucking deception in the background. I mean, a lot of people really are not behaving correctly. If we really wanted to create an ecology and or something of an experience that says now we're talking safety. Well, I don't know. I've been experiencing on my level of just constant fighting. Really, is just to try to get to save your own ability to heal and say no. I and just cancel out whatever is there that isn't for your healing or for its own healing. We're all kind of wounded and wading through the smokes and the battle zone. You know, it's there. It's see. This is what I really wanted to talk about. Thanks for listening to all this. Whew. I'm doing fine, by the way. It's okay. It's just energy. Um, this is really what I wanted to say is that how that see humanity is not going to be putting up with how that there are literally like organizations and or yeah, there's just corruption where it says one thing but it's doing another, right? It's not like come on, look at like okay, they call it the sick care system. It's really not health care, it's sick care. You know why? Well, the Food and Drug Administration, now the Food and Drug Administration, those people, it's almost like we had veterinaries, right? By the way, there's veterinarians who are farming us and they are feeding us. You know, because nobody farms their food, they don't have a healthy lifestyle. Period. You know, they're running for what? To do what? To fucking get just food. Basically, that's it. And to do what? They don't even question. It's like, well, to keep somebody's books, to serve the warlord, man, to keep everybody segregated. Who knows? Do you get a job being a teacher? Get your fake education system going, where you look at those fucking campuses harboring thousands of people, and there isn't a single fucking edible plant there. It doesn't look safe. No, it does not look like a safe place. If you were to get stuck there, it's not safe to go. You're waiting for a fucking feed. You're stuck in camp. Really, really. What does the human ecology what is the human ecology worth there? It's worth something to a fucking warlord. Thank you for listening. I'm talking about now how that no, if fucking Blondie here wearing a pink sweater can talk like this and say and go ahead, more people that know about this and says no, and can we have our own money and do something different now on account of what that we're getting paid to do it better? Really, really. I would like to know, do I have the freedom? Can I? You know, if somebody's trying to tell me that I can go along the side of the roads here, public, wherever it's public property, I don't understand, but sometimes I'll see a dead tree. There's a lot of dead trees. And if I can pick it up, it's yours. I'm like, really? What's stopping me? I guess I just didn't know that. And the only thing stopping me now is just the fact that I just haven't fucking focused, concentrate, and go and do it. Now is the time. Fuck, what happened? You've been under a spell. Some kind of fucking spell. Neptune. We can't handle that anymore, Beds. The Neptune in Aries. Whew, it's weird because you can't really fool Aries, but see, I say look at how the control systems will go to water. They're really going to try to do something with that, babes. They already are. If you notice it, they already are. It's like all be gosh dogged. And the worst thing to pick up is that people don't know their own spiritual strength and their own spiritual place, like period spiritual. They don't even know what the word spiritual means versus religion versus anything else. They don't know a fucking thing. Are you excited, kids, to be here now? I mean, really, you should be. You just say, hey, you know what? No, and you put your foot down and say, let's simplify. Now, whatever it is that is hoarding the resources and not allowing us to live, we have to stop that. Stop that, you know? And I think that something happening in the Trump administration, just to make this a little bit longer, that they keep talking about how like well that they have closed down certain organizations, they have stopped a lot of services. Now a lot of people might get really paranoid and it's like, well, we don't have a Red Cross anymore, we don't have a this and that. Well, what is it? Okay, can you tell me what more is it than just people that turn around and start taking care of each other because they can? They just sense I'm in the position, you know, What is it? See, that's a Neptune going into the first responder place, just testing and saying, almost pulling the wool over their eyes, saying, well, we're going to cancel all that. No, you're not. You can bet that we're all going to start looking after each other better, maybe. Whew. Hard to tell, hard to imagine what the paranoid people around me would end up doing if we really counted on each other to do the right thing, to do something at all. Because, first of all, their style of living is pretty fucking toxic. I'm like sandwiched in between it right now. It's like, that's why I kind of get on here, but I'm asking whatever it is in my life, just hardly just one. Understand, babes, I need real live fucking fortitude happening through just rebellion, which means we sing, we dance, we play, because these fucking people are miserable. Now, having said that, I don't wish bad or anything upon my neighbors, but boy, when they start doing things that is nothing but bad for them and the environment and me and stuff, and it's fucking up the whole point of why do we live in a beautiful fucking... Anyway, forget that, right? Fuck it. I'm not supposed to believe that we live in the mountains and it's not a wilderness area and we don't have clean waterways around here and it's not quiet at night and we don't look at the stars at night, or just bring all the fucking city pollution up here. Great. It's not just you here. And it really is. See, this morning, well, we have things going on. You're going to see a breakdown, kind of steady breakdown with Mercury about to go retrograde. Well, we have Neptune changing. The whole generations are going to just peter out. They're going to say, fuck, I cannot do this anymore. Yeah. Um, yeah, it's trippy to think about what is going to become of the Aries, the early degree Aries people. We have to look into it together. What does a Neptune transit mean? It means a mystical experience. It means spiritual transformation across the board. It doesn't always mean a bad thing. You have to be able to handle that higher octave of these outer planets that are malefic, just like Mars. Mars is a malefic planet, but no, it's not always bad. We need that steam under our ass. We need the ability to get pissed so that people do not fuck with us. We need our defenses and we need our offenses and we need the game playing and we need to be able to laugh and say, what happened? You know, you came after me, but you fell on your ass. And then to be able to shake each other's hand later because you're making each other strong and you know now you're on the same team. What about that? You know? Those weird movies, but really, yeah, no, those movies that make you feel for the hero that never gives up. We're going to see that thing, man, coming up. We've got to. Otherwise, enjoy your fucking constant churn of misery getting worse and worse, it seems like, with what? Well, start with diseases, the physical diseases, how, well, it's just normal to just croak by being taken over by something that's pretty much equal to kind of parasite. You know, you have fungus, and that can create all kinds of other kinds of cancers and stuff, and it's like, get back to the water. Make sure you drink your alkaline water. That's what keeps your body from harboring molds and stuff. No, they're making water out of moldy plastic material. Be careful, that's just how it is. And boy, did you learn how to make your own water yet? It's a multi-million-dollar idea to start doing it. Because why? Well, with the genre of money, or what money is up to, it's always hooked into warlords. And if you can tap into what the warlords are tapping into too, and say, I have a better version, good for you. And water is one of them. The air will probably be another, but now let's look in food. Really, have you figured it out? Do you know that you can just start it, man, and try and figure out how to make a healthier style bread or something, and serve your community, serve your neighbor, serve your neighborhood. But see, that's a Venus and Virgo thing. That's a very moon and the Virgonian thing that's coming up, thing to think about. Really, we have to. And I'm here to tell you, long video, getting longer, with the Earth planet Uranus there in the planet. See, we were looking at Venus, which we have a Uranus under the rulership of Venus in the sign of Taurus that's not stopping, threatening to make us live simple. It's not getting out of Taurus yet. It's not going to get out of Taurus until June. We have an epic event with Uranus going into Gemini. But we all predict that not without They're being, pardon me while I make some noise here, just fucking with this nail clipper, not without making it known to mankind that it has to go back to the earth and create a microcosm that's feeding and self-sustaining through its microclimatic conditions, which is just people that, for instance, I live in these mountains, and I know that we can live up here without um, having to go off the hill. Like we have this, we used to have a motto is to keep your money on the hill, and we try to stay working on the hill for each other. But really, I want to get more deeper and say, really west of the Mississippi, use all of your land to farm. Do not ordain people to live near waterways unless they know to take care of the waterways and to use the water farming. And you must farm on lands that are open to ability to farm, or get out. Why? Because you want to survive, you want to live, you fucking idiots. There might come a time that we have to just not only, we are not going to imagine that might happen, babes. We are just like so far, we are only like 2 straws away from just the camel's back breaking, and people realizing that we should have gotten together a long time ago and just went, what emergency? What crisis? Especially in places like this where it was intended that we do this kind of thing. We realize, no, just that canyon alone right over there can take care of us if we take care of it. Take care of it, and because really, but it seems impossible because of the way that we have military spraying fucking aluminum through the air and creating a synthetic assemblage of uh, synthetic black goo that will have a robot emerge under the water, and it's happening, very possible that we will start to see things in this year alone, but from now on, that is just, whoa, what was that? Really? Yeah, you better get your armor on too, protect your energy, start using the real ancient wisdom of how to protect yourself, which I say rebel. You're a rebellion. All that is that you celebrate the truth. You know how to sing on tune. Sing something on tune, like I said in the beginning. Is this the same video? Yeah. The Virgonian full moon wants us to look at daily rituals. You should pack them full. Like, first of all, your eating is one of that should be turned into a ritual of health. You're eating a medicine there, or you're poisoning yourself, period. Watch out where you get your eggs from if you eat eggs. You have no idea what a good egg tastes like until you taste your own fucking chicken's eggs or your neighbor's eggs, who they have not only chickens, but they have them doing free range actions and stuff, and eating insects and really scratching around and eating. It's hard to simulate that. So anyway, that's the call, is to, in your microcosms, to start doing things ritualistically that benefit you in such a way. It's pure rebellion, which means that you're just staying tuned, and you're creating a structure like geometric that is impenetrable. That's what true prayer really is. And that's what we're going to keep on communicating. By the time it's June, we're going to get into a more communicative place where Uranus is going to be more communicative there. That's what I mean. In Taurus right now, it's like something is going to snap. If it's the elite that causes a volcano to go off, or fires, or whatever, it makes people that do some uncontrollable act of evolving, that you'd be surprised how, well, we're not going to let them take us into fear anymore. No, our kids and kids like my age, I feel like I'm such a kid still, right? And I'm 50, and it's like, well, gosh, Shauna, shouldn't you be thinking certain ways? I'm like, no, I think I'm going to be a pioneer through something, and I want a good teammate in my life, so we can figure out how to what? How to make it, how to just make it a self-sustained society, like, like that we don't really rely on a gas company to heat our water, or even to get our water. That we can mine it through like, didn't you fucking move on a place where the water runs through it? If not, then maybe you're living in the wrong place. Why is it so farmed up and weird? It's just amazing. It's kind of cool, but wow. It's kind of dangerous. Yeah, it's kind of a trap. You see too much of the organism, the hoodie organism, man. They're just, what do they do in life? Well, learn how to plumb. Can you learn how to plumb? What do you mean plumb? Become a plumber, you know. It's interesting, sure, yeah, it is. You can make a lot of money. Einstein said, somebody asked him, Einstein, if you had a chance and you would do it all over again and you had another lifetime, what would you be? Instead of a scientist, what would you be? He said, oh, anything rather than a scientist. I would like to become a plumber. They make a lot more money.